Hello, Captain Andrea Hall. I'm really just thrilled for this opportunity to connect with you. On Inauguration Day, I know was a big day for many of us, me as well. Number one for me is the first woman of color vice president, and just looking forward to new leadership. Your signing when you did the Pledge of Allegiance, I was just in maybe five or six different text groups talking about the inauguration at that time while watching. And I'm not kidding. All of the groups were like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see the Pledge of Allegiance in ASL? Oh my God, we were so thrilled and inspired. So I just want to thank you for that, and just that acknowledgement in sign language on this national platform. I just need to know what the energy was like during the inauguration. I mean, to be there during this big event, I need to know.
So the energy was very warm and loving. It was a 45-degree day there. So it was very cold, but the energy was very warm. Everybody was so, I think, ready for a change. They were ready for the change in the administration, and you could feel that. It was palpable. Everybody was congratulatory, and they were very excited about this opportunity to move our nation into a different direction. So it was very good.
Definitely, definitely. When you were selected to do the Pledge of Allegiance, did you already have a no? Did you already have a feeling that you were going to sign and then later wanted to sign, or what was the progress?
Well, obviously, I am Coda. I have a father who was deaf. So my family and I signed often together, and I have many friends who are deaf and or hearing impaired, or I'm sorry, hard of hearing. And when the announcement was made, a friend of mine reached out by text and said, "Hey, are you going to be in the inauguration?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I'm going to be watching you." And that's when I decided I'm going to sign. Of course, I talked with my sister about it back and forth, and we made the hard decision that yes, this was the thing to do. So
Are you nervous?
yes, I was very nervous. It's difficult to sign and talk at the same time sometimes because you want to make sure that your words are connecting with the signs. So there's a rhythm that has to go with that. There's a certain cadence that you have to manage. So yes, it was. I was very nervous.
Your reaction or the reaction from the community was so positive and inspiring. I'm so curious to know about your family or any personal notes. How did they feel?
My family, they were very proud of me. Um, the feedback that I got from them was that they were in tears and they were really happy because they didn't know this was a surprise for everyone. I didn't tell anyone about it. So no one had an idea.
Oh, it was a
Right.
surprise.
It was a surprise. And my father passed away 2 years ago. So it was really in homage to him or in honor of him. And so people, I think they were moved by that gesture. So I could not have anticipated all of the feedback that I got from the deaf community. I was so overwhelmed and humbled by that because I was just doing it for my friends and my family. I didn't expect it to have this sort of impact.
It really made a huge impact on the community. And just to see sign language being used on that national platform during a very historical moment. And yes, you're right, it was surprise. The surprise element was just amazing. And if we knew, it would have been nice, right? But the surprise element, unexpected, was like, wow. And I hope that, it inspired you more and more others to continue signing and using their position of or their role on the big, huge platform to bring acknowledgement to sign language.
Right. I think that is so important. And like I said, it was not my intention initially because I wasn't sure if they would have interpreters or not. I just wanted to make sure that my family and friends felt included in that process. And that was the best way that I knew how to do that. However, since this has all happened, I do feel a greater sense of responsibility to highlight the importance of inclusion and making sure that people who may or may not be like us have the same opportunities that we do. That's very important to me, especially now.
Definitely, definitely. So you yourself, a Coda, you mentioned, really, it's a huge part of your identity.
Mhm.
How did growing up as a Coda help you become who you are today?
Well, obviously, it makes you a lot more sensitive to other people, a lot more empathetic. And it really, so this is the thing about my father. He was a very hardworking man, and he had a lot of integrity, very dignified. He was an ultimate professional, and he took pride in everything that he did. And if there was anything that I think that he passed on to us as children was that, and that he did not allow his deafness to stop him from doing anything that he wanted to do. He was a very determined person. And I think that plays a very large part of why I am the way that I am, and my sister is the way that we are. We're very determined people.
I love that. And another thing I want to mention, not just sign language on a national platform, but also Black ASL, BSL. That has received a lot more recognition, long overdue, much deserved. And did you know, oh, I'm doing BSL, Black ASL specifically, or is this just your, your natural way of signing?
Well, obviously, it's my natural way of signing. My father went to the Georgia School for the Deaf when there was segregation. And so he obviously learned a different style of sign than what they did at the majority school. And that was what we learned. I mean, that's how I learned. He taught me what he knew. And so that's what I've done my entire life. I really didn't know that. I mean, you know that there's a distinction. It's just like anywhere else. You have different dialects or you have different pronunciations for certain words, like if you're in New York versus Georgia or California. So it's the same thing with sign language. Everybody has the little nuances to sign. So I just assumed that's what it was. I didn't know there was a such thing as a Black ASL. I just thought there were like differences in regional signs. Right, right.
It's been a very hot topic in our community since really, even this morning, actually, I went to a webinar hosted by Gallaudet. The
Right.
topic is, what is ASL? Is ASL too white?
Mhm.
So I thought this was much needed dialogue in our community about how we really, are more inclusive of different types of sign, not just one standard. So I am so thrilled that your platform, that you used Black ASL, and it just big recognition.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. And let's see, do you have any favorite or cherished memories related to the deaf community?
I do. So my father was an avid basketball player. And every Saturday, he and his friends, who were all deaf, would get together at the parks and they would play basketball all day. And it would just be so awesome to get together to see them. And they would call plays in sign language and they would fuss at each other in sign language and call fouls in sign language. So it was just so awesome to watch. So those Saturdays were so, just thinking about them, I get very fond memories of those days, those Saturdays.
Oh, that is a huge thing in the deaf community, sports
Yes,
clubs and gatherings for sure. I
right.
know many who have those memories growing up going to different types of events like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So you, as a woman of color, in ASL community, what do you hope others who are watching this interview or saw your moment of sign language in the Pledge of Allegiance, what do you hope that they would take away from this?
More than anything, just being sensitive and being thoughtful about each other, about one another, understanding that we're all different, but that's the beauty in being human beings, is that we are all different. And I think that those differences should be respected, should be appreciated. Even in the deaf community, when we talk about Black ASL versus ASL, it's just ASL. It's just like English. We speak English, that is our native language, and there may be different dialects, but it's all English. It's not French, it's not Japanese. So it's just like that with ASL. It's a beautiful language. It's the language of love. It's how we communicate with each other. And I think we should appreciate that and not find so many reasons to divide as much as putting emphasis on finding reasons to come together. That's what I think.
Yes, definitely. So many wonderful Black deaf on social media and spreading awareness about BSL,
Yes.
like
It's Keme.
Nikki Smith
Yes, yes. Uh-huh. It's uh-huh.
and others. You could see a lot of people looking up to you as a big role model and a powerful message that you've spread about more recognition. And I'm just excited about that.
I'm excited about it as well. And, as much as I did not expect all of this, I'm thankful that I could be a part of bringing awareness to our community. And I say our because I'm very much a part of the deaf and hard of hearing community. I also feel now that I have a responsibility, an even greater responsibility, to demonstrate why it's important for us to be more inclusive. I think that's really important. And I think we all have an obligation to do that.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much for your time. And do you have anything else that you would like to add or mention?
I just want to say thank you so much for the overwhelming support and encouragement. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Monique. I'm glad that you're in good health. And I just look forward to us talking again soon. I hope that this is a lifelong relationship that we're forming now.
Yes, yes, definitely, for sure. Thank you.